The 1958 Continental Mark III. Lincoln, in its attempt to outshine its competitors, unveiled the 1958 Continental Mark III. Instead of exuding elegance, this car became a cautionary tale of excess. Its design was bold, too bold for most consumers. Hished fenders, canted headlights, and a hefty curb weight gave the Mark III an awkward, overbearing presence. The press was quick to criticize its lack of refinement, and buyers agreed. A common critique was that the car lacked the cohesive design Lincoln had been known for in earlier years. Adding fuel to the fire, the Mark III shared its underpinnings with lower-tier models like the Capri, diluting its exclusivity. Priced far above its value, the vehicle was a flop during the recession of the late 1950s. Lincoln reported substantial losses and was forced to reimagine its future. But out of failure came redemption. By 1961, Lincoln introduced the elegantly minimalistic Continental, a car that redefined its legacy. Yet the Mark III remains a reminder of what happens when design overshadows practicality. The 1977 Lincoln Continental. The 1970s brought about a dramatic shift in consumer preferences, with oil crisis dominating headlines and fuel efficiency becoming a top priority. Oversized vehicles like the 1977 Lincoln Continental were quickly losing favor. Measuring nearly 20 feet in length and weighing over 5,000 pounds, the Continental was a true land yacht. But in the context of rising gas prices, its 13 miles per gallon performance made it more of a liability than a luxury. Cadillac, Lincoln's longtime rival, had already begun downsizing its fleet, attracting modern buyers. Lincoln's decision to cling to its oversized legacy ultimately hurt the brand. The Continental's sales were lukewarm compared to Cadillac's smaller, more efficient models. While later iterations corrected the course, this misstep was emblematic of Lincoln's struggles to adapt to changing times. 1977 Lincoln Versailles. In 1977, Cadillac's Seville redefined luxury compacts, proving that smaller vehicles could still deliver prestige. Lincoln, eager to ride the trend, responded with the Versailles. The results were less than impressive. Built on the modest bones of the Ford Granada, the Versailles was barely distinguishable from its mainstream counterpart. Sure, it featured fancier trim and a distinctive trunk hump designed to evoke classic luxury. But the changes felt superficial. Worse still, it carried a hefty price tag, often 3 times as much as the Granada. Despite introducing clear-coat paint technology, a genuine innovation at the time, the Versailles failed to capture buyer enthusiasm. In its short run, it sold just over 50,000 units, compared to the wildly successful Seville. The Versailles remains a textbook example of badge engineering gone wrong. The 2002 Lincoln Blackwood. Fast forward to the early 2000s, and Lincoln decided to test the waters of luxury pickups. A daring idea, the result. The 2002 Lincoln Blackwood, a car destined to be one of the brand's most spectacular failures. A luxury truck built on the Ford F-150 platform, featuring plush interiors and exclusive styling. But in reality, it was a bizarre concoction of form over function. The truck bed was carpeted, yes, carpeted, and lined with aluminum. Only 3,356 units were sold before Lincoln pulled the plug. In contrast, Cadillac's Escalade EXT, a rival luxury truck with far better versatility, thrived. The Blackwood's failure highlighted the pitfalls of not understanding market demands. The 1982 Lincoln Continental. The 1982 Lincoln Continental was a move toward downsized luxury, adapting to the times with a smaller Fox platform design. But while it ticked some boxes, it left others empty. Underpowered engines, uninspired designs, and awkward handling all added up to an underwhelming product. Its boxy, bustleback-inspired design failed to strike the right balance between modernity and classic appeal. Sales were modest, and the car lingered in Lincoln's lineup with minimal updates for far too long. The 2006 Lincoln Zephyr. As luxury brands diversified into smaller sedans, Lincoln followed suit with the 2006 Zephyr. Although aesthetically appealing, it didn't quite measure up to competitors in terms of performance or interior quality. The Zephyr felt like a half-hearted attempt to stay relevant, borrowing heavily from Ford's design language and undercutting its own brand image. It failed to carve out a distinct identity, leaving buyers unimpressed. While it eventually evolved into the more successful MKZ, the Zephyr's debut is remembered as a misstep in Lincoln's journey to modern luxury. 2006, the Lincoln Mark LT. Undeterred by the Blackwood's failure, Lincoln tried again in 2006 with the Mark LT. Unfortunately, it didn't learn much from its past mistakes, essentially a rebadged Ford F-150. The Mark LT offered little to distinguish itself from its more affordable sibling. While it sold better than the Blackwood, it still couldn't justify its luxury positioning. Buyers were unimpressed with the shallow upgrades, and Ford ultimately discontinued the Mark LT in favor of focusing on higher-end F-150 trims like the Platinum series, which delivered luxury without the badge confusion. The 1995 Lincoln Continental. The 1995 Lincoln Continental was one such car. Designed based on focus group feedback, it stripped away any sense of risk or originality. While it offered a smooth ride and a powerful V8 engine, its uninspired design made it hard to stand out in a crowded luxury market. Buyers looking for excitement turned to German rivals, while those prioritizing value often found better options elsewhere.